This is from a person who's trying to promote it. Oh my god, who's this guy? There's this guy, he has a website, your MSP marketing partner. And it's like him in like an orange striped polo. He looks like he teaches at a community college. And he's like promoting use promo SM to boost your, what is MSP? Managed services? What is this? That's so cute. That's just odd. So just spam. This reminds me of something that I discovered. I want to say a year ago. Jeez, it's been that long. Maybe, I don't know. So I went through this. I went on this little rabbit hole where it started off with, like, obviously because I'm doing editing. So when I'm editing something, I'll have an idea, like, oh, I want to pull this off. I want to do this thing, some trick or something like that. But I don't know exactly how to do that, so I'll just look up a little tutorial. I'll try and find something to figure out how to get a certain effect or transition or something like that. And per the YouTube algorithm, watching those will then get me recommended things like, advice for editing YouTube videos. And I was curious, so I clicked on a couple of them. They seemed like they had pretty decent view counts and from fairly reputable channels. And to be honest, a lot of them were actually pretty helpful. There were some tricks that I use very often in videos now that I learned from these kinds of videos. It was stuff like the best or the most applicable one, I guess, that I used the most is just the J cut, as it's called, which is just where, so say if you can go watch like any of my last couple dozen videos, and if you just see any footage of like me talking, if you'll notice, when I cut between like takes, the audio comes in a little bit before the video cuts. That's what's called a J cut, and it's because cutting both the audio and video at the same time is kind of jarring. And you end up a lot of times in a weird situation where at the start of the take, you're like just kind of staring at the camera and it's kind of awkward while you're just like waiting to like, you're like mentally preparing to say the line. And so you kind of cut through that. I guess like, so the what a J cut I'll usually do is I'll just stare. I'll finish the line and I'll say like, okay, that's about as much as I'll say for this take, and then I'll finish it and I'll make sure to stare at the camera for a few seconds of just dead space for the audio for the next line to come in, which could be a little awkward if you start noticing it, but because you have this new auditory information coming in of the next audio line, you like barely even notice it unless you're looking for it. So it's just it's a much smoother like transition from one line to the next. It's much less jarring. That's a tip that I learned from like some of these like editing tips for YouTube videos type things. Not everything I found super useful or not super useful for my content in particular, but some of it was like very genuinely helpful. And then as per the YouTube algorithm, from there, I started getting recommended, like, you know, from how to edit YouTube videos to how to, like, how to make it on YouTube, or how to grow your YouTube channel or something like that. And there's a great video by Super Eye Patch Wolf about how scammy and just bullshit most of these are. Most people who are trying to sell you a method to success, you're their method to success because they're fleecing you for money. Because if you look at other stuff that they've done, most of the time they themselves are not particularly successful, or they try to sell you on success that they themselves have not achieved because they're looking for suckers. So most of these videos I skipped over, but there was one that caught my eye. And the title and thumbnail, it was something like, how to make money on YouTube with other people's content, or like by reposting videos. And I looked at it and I had to do a double take, because that was such a strange, I don't know if, I guess that is such, the idea of reposting video, just straight up reposting someone's video, one, most people consider that pretty unethical. Two, it's also potentially breaking copyright laws, right? Like, you could get a DMCA claim for that. There's a whole system on YouTube in case someone uploads your video that you can find it and you can have it struck down. I haven't had to do that yet because I'm a teeny weeny little channel, but that exists, right? So to have someone so boldly, so brazenly put out how to make money on YouTube by reposting videos really caught me by surprise. I had to check my eyes to make sure that was really what it said. And out of curiosity, once it was like, oh, that is really what this is, I'm like, there's no way, right? There's no way this is actually what this guy's talking about. So I click on the video and I watched it. So maybe I'm the sucker. But I started watching it, and it's this guy, and he's explaining this strategy where you take like it was something like meditation sounds or nature sounds or sounds of the ocean, something like that, because it's really big now, because people, while they're meditating, they want to put some background noise to help them kind of like zen out. So just rip those sounds, get some stock footage of like a rolling ocean or a sunset or something like that, and then just extend it to 3 hours and post that under like and just fill the title, the description, everything with keywords, and then build up to the point where you can monetize, and then like start running ads on it, which is like, that's not how Zen things should be. I guess maybe at the start, but whatever. And I could not believe it. Just the audacity of this guy to just say it so plainly, like, yeah, this is just a thing you can do, when it's like that. No, first of all, what the fuck? Second of all, this is so scammy, and I'll explain it why. I feel like I shouldn't have to explain it why, but to break it down, right? This is a short-term money-making scheme. This is practically money laundering. This is not an empire that's built to last, or really even built to grow. Like, straight up, even if you do that, it's such a crapshoot if you get anything, because that kind of content is so interchangeable. Maybe if it was like a new market that was hot, and you happen to already be doing that, and you got picked up, then yeah, sure. But like now, there's a million of those, this type of content. This kind of like, that's the problem with low effort content, is that much of it is very interchangeable. Is very rarely is there any kind, maybe low effort is maybe not the right way to put it, because you can put low effort into something like ProZD, the guy who does he does short little skits. Every single thing he does is just filmed on like his phone. He doesn't even like make thumbnails or anything, and he's fucking hilarious, and I love his skits. And then I have it's just filmed on like his phone, and he plays every character, and sometimes he has like a wig on to show that it's a different character, and they're all under like a minute. And I'm sure that he himself would say like, yeah, he's not moving mountains to put these things out, but like, he's popular because he's funny, and like his ideas are funny, and the way he delivers things is funny, and he comes up with these entertaining, very short ideas. Like, he got started on technically on Tumblr for voice acting, but I think the skits really started on Vine. And he's just a guy who's really good at coming up with very concepts that are very funny, as long as they're not like too long. Like, you couldn't make a movie or like a 10-minute video out of most of his concepts, but for like a 20-second thing, it's great. And that's like the format it works in. So it's not like the most, you know, I don't think he's like sweating over it. His main thing is like he does voice acting. But like, he's like a personality. There's like some artistry. There's like some heart, is what I'm saying, into what he does. Like, he obviously thinks it's funny, and this is an idea he had, and he's selling it. Compared to like, I'm gonna post some audio that I found and some stock footage over it. It's extremely, even if it does get some kind of success, it's so utilitarian that like your channel barely means anything to anyone. You have like no significance. That's like it's not a long-term, it's not anything you could do long-term. No one's going to be going, oh my god, it's relaxing Zen sounds 1515. Excuse me. You're pretty much just banking on being a flash in the pan who can get some engagement money. Like, you can't make a career out of it, is what I'm saying. On top of the fact that it's just like, if you even get any kind of success, which is so unlikely, it was just ridiculous to me. Like, I was in disbelief watching this guy just, without a shred of irony, explain this scheme. And then I go to check the other stuff on his channel. So like that video was called like the how to make money on YouTube by reposting videos 2022 or something like that. So I scroll down on his channel a bit and I see how to make money on YouTube by reposting videos 2021. And I was like, no, there's no way. It's almost the same thumbnail. The same title, just with the year changed. Almost the same length. And I go and click on the video. Besides like a couple things that he like redid to like update it for the next years, almost the same thing. I could not believe it. But you know what? At least he practices what he preaches. At least he's actually he's committed to reposting videos, including his own.